Hello guys and welcome to episode 5 of jCraft. Today is a very important day because today we're starting one of the very big projects that I wanted to start. We're going to be headed to the Nether very shortly to start this project, and it's going to be very interesting. So we have a few materials in our ender chest from J's base. We have some honey blocks, some slime blocks, and we've got our fireworks and totems in here, as well as all of our tools for what we're about to do. We're going to go meet up Jay in the Nether, and then we're going to start with this project. Now that we have this all cleared out, it is time to start with getting the machine placed. We've cleared a lot of the bottom of this to get rid of all the lava because the machine actually sits right here. It's going to sit right on this spot, and it's going to be able to go in this direction. So we have a little bit of a hopper chain area over here, and this nether portal is actually going to allow us to throw our lava buckets over to the overworld side. So there's a lot to talk about this machine, and then there's a lot to talk about the way we built this and why we're doing exactly what we're doing. First of all, I want to talk about why we're using this flying machine. And as you can see from the end pillar time lapse, it's a lot of work for a lot of materials, but it's not something that's very enjoyable. It's a very tedious process, and it's not fun at all in any way. So to remove the tediousness of it and increase the potential of it and make it to where it's AFKable, this machine will do just that. I have a video on my channel from a while back, but it was poorly explained and the machine was not put through some proper testing. So this is the second version of that machine that has come from me and jCraft working together. There are 3 or 4 notable changes, but I'm just going to list them off as I go. So the first one's going to be the way that the sweeper arm works. This has been downgraded and is now compatible with 1.15. Now the problem with this is that in 1.16 I was going to add a target block to the back of this to throw a bow or a trident at this, or a snowball, or whatever projectile you would like, and that would extend this out and pull it back, so you didn't need stacks and stacks of buttons. As you can see here, I have to use stone buttons. Now while it's not a really big deal, it did mean that I had to completely redesign this because it was really hard to figure out how to do this automatically. So I don't know how to get this to work without using buttons, and I wanted to, but target blocks seemed to be the easiest way around that. The second change is that now there are blocks underneath the slime here. So it doesn't matter what blocks are down here, just as long as they're blocks. Now the machine doesn't have to have that extra block of clearance below it, so it'll never get stuck on the bottom half. This down here will never get stuck, but it can still get stuck up here, and there's not really much I can do about that. That's just part of the design. The third change that I've had on here is that now this machine is still lava proof, so you don't have to worry about anything burning it down, but I do not have to worry about mobs on this one. Originally I had a giant casing and shell around this to prevent the player from getting shot at by ghasts, because in 1.16 there are soul sand valleys, and the fear was that you would just get blasted to bits. As long as there is a mob switch on the server, which we currently do have active, I do not have to worry about any ghasts around me. Nothing will spawn. Nothing can spawn. There's no room for it. Now the next thing on this list is that the player can't walk out of here. There's no complication with this. The player has plenty of room to sprint jump, but the player can never jump out of here unless you use your elytra, which you can then crouch between the layers and get out. but you don't really need to have your armor and stuff on you, and it's probably best you didn't, just in case you get stuck. Now the wall system was changed as well, so now there's no longer this whole gap that was right here, and that was thanks to Jay. It made the machine just one, or well, technically 2 blocks wider, so now there's an extra slice over here of honey, and then that side will have slime to complete the reflection. So this side should be slime. Yep, there you go. And this side had to have 2 slime pieces to change the arm as well, because the arm was originally built, I was trying to use mine tracks and everything like that, but that didn't work out. So now we have these giant hopper chains, and the redstone block has to gate the buckets. If we don't gate the buckets, they're going to flow all the way down to the end, and you're going to need many, many thousands of extra buckets. To give an example, there are 87 hoppers behind this line from here to about in the middle of the dry dock. And the dry dock was where we built this in safety, just to make sure that everything was going to work. And we ended up counting out these hoppers. There's 87 hoppers, and if you put 5 stacks of 16 buckets in here, there's almost 7,000 buckets from about, where is it? I think it's, yeah, so the buckets are filled to right here. This is where they stop. And all the way up to there is about it's like 6,800 buckets from here to there. And it's really easy to collect them. So there's some testing that was done. You can make 3 stacks of obsidian in bucket form with this machine. So there's a lot of inefficiency with this machine, and it's not perfect, but you can collect lava faster than you can mine it. With the 1.6 second break speed on obsidian, that puts a real damper on how fast you have to collect lava buckets. But with proper testing and with 2 people on this platform, you can supply enough lava here to have 5 people AFKing at the obsidian machine. Now Jay is AFK right now there, so I'm going to show you guys how that part works now. On the overworld side of this portal, this is where you would come in from the nether roof. So this is still connected to the nether roof. And down here you can see this really awesome building that me and Jay spent many, many hours building and testing and making sure it had plenty of room to fit what we need to. So if we jump down this hole, we can land at the bottom safely. And there's a lot of redstone right off the back. Now these are 2 of Jay's shulker box loaders. And what we're doing is the buckets are going to come through on this side. You might catch them. There's a bucket being loaded into this shulker box. And on this side we have the obsidian being loaded in the shulker box. Now I believe, yeah, Jay has made 3 shulker boxes of obsidian so far, so we are mining obsidian at a pretty decent rate, which I think is about 1,814 blocks an hour, give or take any potential lag and misfirings. Now as you can see, there are some dispensers inside, and when all of the blocks are taken, this observer is going to detect the change and is going to fire out more lava, and it's basically instantaneous. There's almost no delay in this, and this is the fastest we could get this machine to work. Now the problem with this design is that you have to take care of the buckets, and the buckets they're kind of painful. So we have to have a sorter underneath it with buckets and an item of like. So what we used is ender pearls, and now there are 7 extra buckets put in the system. If you're worried about your buckets, you can actually add pearls to this, but you have the chance of breaking the tile ability of this. So if that stops working and you don't have enough shulker boxes in here, it can end up actually breaking this by having the items back up. And we wanted to make sure that overflow protection is active on this, because having buckets wasted is very expensive. To put this into perspective, I crafted around 11,000 buckets, and that is, I think, like 22 shulker boxes of buckets. That took 2 shulker boxes of iron blocks just to set that up. Now this building has a lot of features built into it, and I have to say I love the way that this works. Jay did most of the redstone up here to count what we have in stock, which I'm going to show right now. We have a lot of obsidian and lava buckets that are going to get stored here. So the lava buckets have an outside digital counter, which we are starting to run out of. And this shows you how many columns of lava buckets there are. So I think each light represents about 6 double chests of buckets, give or take hoppers and everything like that. So there's about 6 stacks of lava or obsidian per light, and there are a lot of lights, and they're on both sides. This is a reflected system. This is a mirrored system over here. So there is the exact same thing over here. And in order to fill up one side, in order to fill up both sides, we have to fill up this side and then this side. And as you can see, there are, actually, I think there's more than 6 chests. 6 double chests is, yeah, there's about 6 double chests in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 double chests. Plus the 5 items in the hopper is basically, it's basically 6 stacks minus the 6 items. So the system took us a while to get handed down, and we were originally going to have it to where we were going to break our pickaxes in this, but we ended up having a problem where the pickaxes, and I had made a lot of pickaxes in my last video. I made a lot of pickaxes actually for this machine. I was actually planning on breaking a lot of these in this machine, which we've already broken enough obsidian to break a single pickaxe. But as you can see, there's a system in here which has experience bottles, and the experience bottles are smashing, like so, every so often to repair the pickaxe on you. The only downside is that in 1.15, you actually have to have nothing on you, so we've had to make sure that this island and everything was safe, as well as very close to where we were at. That way drowns can't destroy us, because if they get up here, they'll end up killing us, and that's not something we want. So Jay installed a conduit here, which if a drown gets anywhere near it, it will end up dying before it even gets on the beach. This should be spawn proof as well, I believe. I believe he's got like sea lanterns like right there. Or glowstone. Glowstone it is. There's also a couple of small aesthetical things we did. So in order to turn off the experiencing, you just flick this switch and it's going to stop the counter. But up above, which I don't have any rockets on me, we ended up using glass panes and carpet over the campfires to lower the amount of smoke particles coming out of this to where it looks like it's actively making stuff. And I love the way these industrial-sized chimneys work. They look great. And there's also hay bales in them to make them go even higher. So this building, all in all, is very beautiful. It also supports 2 people. As you can see, there are 2 sides to this. So if me and Jay want to spend the multiple hours it takes to clear out that lava, we can end up doing so and then AFKing this for a very long time. And I think we could fill this up within about 4 hours. 4 or 5 hours we should be able to fill this up. And then we can AFK it for twice as long, which I think is about 10 hours. So the break speed is about 12 seconds each time. I think we got that a little lower, so it might be closer to 10 seconds due to the comparator clock, the repeaters, and everything else involved with the observer. I think it's about 10 to 12 seconds per break. So this machine is really fast, and with 2 people in there, it's pretty efficient for a 1.15 obsidian machine. I really don't know why he's staring at me when he should be looking the other way. This is so freaky. So after building that machine and doing a lot of AFKing for lava, I was kind of confused as to where I should do with the rest of the video. So instead of ending there with the machine, I've decided to cut out a lot of the repetition with it and do a lot of AFKing, because what we're about to do is going to prepare us for the long run of our base, and I have been putting it off for way too long. I've spent 3 episodes now and I still have no storage system. I've still got these basic farms around here, and this place is looking pretty bleak and there's not a whole lot in it. So first of all, the resources we AFK'd, we ended up getting a shulker box of prismarine bricks, and sea lanterns. I AFK'd there for way too long. Honestly, I should have only been there for a couple hours. I didn't know how powerful Jay's farm is, and the answer is very powerful. So powerful, in fact, that I didn't even need to AFK that long to get all of this. I spent way too much time AFK. I also spent some time, we've got our emerald blocks from the raid farm from the last video in between. Jay wanted to see who could beat us on the emerald gains, and it turns out that he ended up winning. We had just spent a lot of our emeralds getting gear, but I ended up not AFKing that immediately. I could have won that very easily had I AFK'd just a little bit sooner than I had, because he spent about 5 or 6 hours trading, and I could have easily won against that. Lastly, we do have a lot of gold, and we're preparing for the 1.16 update, which is probably going to be just a few days, if not the day after I release this video, which means that we'll probably be updating within 30 days of that. I have no idea what Jay's schedule is for that, so we're preparing to stock a lot of gold because we need a lot of the materials that are going to come from the piglins. So we're going to leave these resources here for the moment. I'm going to end up using these emeralds to start my gear collection, but we need to go do some digging, and we've got our tools for this. And I need to grab some shovels, perfect. And we need to go get a bunch of dirt and then use a lot of our sea lanterns to start spawn proofing the area. So we're going to end up filling in most of these puddles of water, and I'm not talking about this. This is more of a pond. I don't want to get rid of the pond. I want to get rid of like that puddle there, that one there, and all these other little holes that are making the map look like it's a little sick. So we're going to get rid of all those. And then we might even, like, all of these holes, like, everywhere. Yeah, there's just so many holes over here, and I want to get rid of those because we're going to start the industrialization of our base, and these farms probably aren't going to be in a permanent location until I find something better. But if you guys missed the stream where I built what I'm about to build, I spent a lot of time on this design, and no, it's not 100% effective, but it's definitely worthwhile to have a blast chamber. So we've got our blast chamber ready to go, so we're going to go get some dirt, and then we're going to start filling in all of the holes that are around our base. In that last clip, I meant to actually show you guys the redstone as well, so we ended up AFKing the witch farm as well, so we've got a lot of resources here, and we're going to be using some of the redstone here soon, as well as the sea lanterns. I've had the cobblestone running for just a bit here, and it seems like it's doing pretty well. We did do some testing with the white concrete, and it looks like this machine is able to handle basically as fast as you can throw it in there. I don't think this machine can break. I did some tweaking to it off camera, and I ended up putting a fence gate. Oh. Well, guess we're going to rebuild to get it back up there. So all I did with added the cobblestone in here is I created a little clock here that is based on this observer, and it's basically nearly as fast as I can make that. And because I've had issues in creative testing, I decided it'd be a good idea to put a fence gate right here, open, so that even if this does get full, it would jam and it would stop operating, but it can't put stone right here. If stone ends up right here, it's going to blow up all the concrete, redstone, and pistons that are underneath here. And while that's not a big deal, it's just something I don't want to end up doing, because if I AFK this for a long time, I might end up losing these resources, and I don't think that that's very, very good at all. So I wanted to avoid that, and that fence gate seems to be the best idea I have right now. It's not triggered by any of the redstone, which I thought was going to be a problem, but that's because I thought I was going to have to put it up a block or right here. But now that it's down there, it's not going to cause any problems for me. And I know this is very slow, but this is definitely not a permanent machine here. I just really needed to get started with some resources, so I'm laying down the foundation for some of the next projects I'm going to get. And I think I've even started up a little book here to kind of give me the idea of what I'm going to do next. Well, I won't show you guys what's in this book, but all you guys need to know is that there's 2 extra pages in here, and the first 5 are going to be the resource list that I have. So I've got 2 projects lined up and planned. I'm not sure if they'll come in the order that they're written, but I think that this is just a great view out here. I mean, I finally have something out here. I just wish that this looked a little bit better, and I'm on my way to build something around that. I might end up building something around this, but I'm not sure, because if I do end up replacing that, I really don't want to build something permanent for a temporary farm. And maybe this will stay permanent. I have no idea. I'll probably end up building a new cobblestone generator if I need one, but this thing runs pretty well. I don't think I will. I started some mob spawning proofing, and I'm not sure I'm really happy with this sea lantern idea. I mean, I tried to embed it over here a bit, and it looks a little better, but I mean, we've still got a lot of mobs spawning around here, and I'd like to do this in a more styled fashion. I don't like the idea of just spamming a lot of torches or sea lanterns down. It doesn't seem like either one of those ideas are going to look very great at this point. But we finally got this generator done, and I'm leaving it running in the background. So long as I stay in the area, I don't think there's going to be any problems with it. And since it's very slow, I really don't want to leave it or not have it on for a bit. I have a lot of redstone resources I'd like to get started on. And in order for me to get those done, I'm definitely going to need a lot of cobble. And I think I'm going to get ready to prepare for a furnace array and my first batch of redstone resources, which I'm really excited for. It's going to take a lot of resources and a lot of time. I'm still not sure I have enough wood to start up with the pistons, but I definitely want to at least try to get some of the observers and comparators and repeaters and stuff like that done. The stuff that I actually can get done right now, I'd like to get done. And I'm not sure how far I'll get with that, but I think I'm going to plan a live stream for the furnace array because I'd like to get something pretty unique out there. And I'm pretty sure there's something fun I could create that's not been taken by somebody else. Oh wow, looks like I need to put carpet on here. I did not know that. What, these are... Okay, these are all slabs still. Okay, well it looks like we still got more carpeting to do. But I did end up getting some carpeting done over here on the roof. Actually, it's above us. I got some of the carpets placed down, so the entire top roof is mob proof. Looks like this side's not. I must have missed some carpet in here. After the last couple of weeks of trying to get out episodes, I've kind of decided that it's not really efficient for me to try and get a video out every week. I've been trying to keep up a uploading schedule similar to Jay's, and it doesn't seem to be working out for me. I started the server out just to really try something new. That's really all there was to it. I wanted something new, and I've never joined a server where a lot of stuff has been done. So I took Jay up on the offer, and I've been trying to keep up with the schedule, and it's just not working out. So I'm going to start slowing down my content after this upload and try to get a video out every 10 days. I may not make that deadline, but I want to at least try to make 3 videos a month here with these videos, and then I want to spend the rest of the spare time I have away from my videos to help Jay get some of the projects we have planned done. Right now we have a lot of grinding that needs to be done at the Obsidian Maker, and then we have a lot of AFKing that needs to be done at the Gold Farm to prepare for 116. And I think he's working on a lot of Wither Skeleton skulls too, so we definitely need to get a lot of that done. But I spent a lot of time in this episode working on the Obsidian engine and getting it set up and AFKing the Obsidian and making sure we collect enough lava. So it took away a little bit of the time I had for this episode, so it might be a little bit short. But I want you guys to know that I do plan to make at least 3 videos a month. I'm going to try to make that goal, and I want to spend around like 30 to 40% more time helping Jay get some of the projects done, because some of the stuff he has prepared is just ridiculously amazing, but some of the stuff takes a lot of creative testing. On a side note, if you guys are interested in watching my live streams, I do stream. I'm going to try to stream twice a week at twitch.tv/AstaZora. This has been a place where I do some of my redstone testing. It helps you guys see where I'm at and what I'm working on, as well as I take suggestions for some of the stuff I make, because I like a lot of the things I make, but sometimes the small aesthetics or some small changes can make the machine or whatever I might be working on a lot better. So I've been taking a lot of criticism in live streams as well.